Shockwaves are rippling through the electric vehicle community as GM CEO drops a bombshell decision, banning EVs for life. What led to this unexpected move? And how will it impact the future of electric cars? Stick around as we unravel the details in today's video. General Motors CEO Mary Barra is a champion for environmentally friendly and zero-emission automobiles. Mary Barra, the first female CEO of a major carmaker, has undoubtedly pushed for sustainable mobility and clean energy solutions, acting as a catalyst for change. Her goal is very clear: renewable energy sources will power cars with zero emissions. Although each has advantages and disadvantages of their own, electric cars and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles are both viable means of reaching sustainability. EVs utilize the current infrastructure for charging, have zero exhaust emissions, and are effective for driving in cities. The drawbacks include range anxiety, issues with battery manufacture, and lengthy charging times. Barra may have a more nuanced viewpoint, even if EVs presently dominate the environmental debate and investment landscape. Recognizing their potential, GM continues to provide popular EV models and has plans to grow. Barra sees potential in FCEVs for specific applications like long-haul trucking due to their range and refueling advantages. What are the advantages of hydrogen fuel cells? Rapid refueling and long range. Compared to most EVs, FCVs often offer a longer range and faster refueling, bringing them closer to the experience of gasoline-powered vehicles. Long-distance travel and lowering range anxiety may benefit from this. Their tailpipe emissions are zero. Since FCVs only generate water vapor, they are a desirable option for lowering air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. What are the challenges faced by hydrogen fuel cells? Limited infrastructure. EV charging facilities are widely available, whereas hydrogen filling stations are currently limited. Building a suitable infrastructure takes time and a large financial commitment. At the moment, producing clean hydrogen is more costly and less efficient than producing power for EVs. Clean hydrogen is often produced using electrolysis utilizing renewable energy. Despite a steady decline in price, FCVs are still generally more costly than equivalent EVs. While it is true that some EVs do not yet match FCV range, battery technology developments are quickly bridging the gap. More than 300 miles can be covered by new EV versions. Using the current electrical infrastructure to their advantage offers EVs a big accessibility and convenience advantage. Compared to FCVs, EVs often have lower running expenses because electricity is a less expensive fuel and they have less maintenance. Even though there is a growing consumer interest in electric vehicles, issues such as high upfront costs, a lack of adequate charging infrastructure, and range anxiety persist. Production and profit have also been hampered by growing material costs and supply chain interruptions. Not merely a lack of interest, but these difficulties affect important choices. Governments imposing tighter pollution laws and encouraging the development of electric vehicles are putting pressure on both companies. Although this pressure might spur innovation, it also makes it more difficult in the near run to achieve lofty goals, given the limitations of the market and current technology. Although the change may appear to ignore customer preferences, although the production and mining of raw materials for EV batteries pose environmental problems, life cycle evaluations frequently reveal lower overall emissions when compared to gasoline-powered vehicles. Furthermore, battery technology is always advancing to pursue more sustainable and clean production methods. EVs' effects on the environment are mostly determined by the electrical source utilized for charging. Fossil fuel-based systems raise emissions, whereas renewable energy sources like wind and solar reduce them. Optimizing the sustainability of electric vehicles requires investments in cleaner networks. FCVs are now more expensive than equivalent EVs. The technology of FCVs and EVs are developing quickly. Research and development is now being done in the fields of solid-state alternatives, hydrogen production techniques, and battery enhancements. A variety of technologies will probably be used in transportation in the future to meet a range of purposes and get around existing constraints. While FCVs might find uses in certain use cases, such as long-haul trucking, EVs may still rule the personal transportation market. Even with the possible tendency of some people moving to hybrid vehicles, the worldwide EV industry is still expanding significantly. This implies that although certain issues may be making people rethink pure EVs, the uptake of EVs overall isn't slowing down. Hybrids are an important part of the switch to fully electric vehicles. They provide familiarity, perhaps alleviate issues like range anxiety, and have fewer emissions than conventional gasoline-powered cars. EVs aren't inherently in danger because of their popularity. The complicated automobile sector is impacted by a number of variables, including laws, fuel prices, technology developments, and consumer preferences. A big step in GM's hydrogen journey was taken in 2007 with the introduction of the Chevrolet Equinox fuel cell. This was one of the first hydrogen cars that were sold commercially, albeit it was only produced in small quantities, mostly for use by government and fleet organizations. Not only was this a symbolic move, but it also provided GM with an actual testing ground where they could obtain useful feedback and data regarding the functionality and performance of the technology. Collaborations with other businesses, such as Honda, and key players, such as the U.S. Department of Energy, provide as another evidence of their commitment to cooperatively developing the technology. GM and Honda demonstrated their continued dedication to large-scale production in 2023 by opening their Ohio joint venture fuel cell systems manufacturing facility. The EV market is still in its infancy and is growing, even though losing important information might result in financial losses. Whenever making selections based on fragmented information, investors ought to proceed with prudence and thoroughly investigate their options. Investors ought to proceed with caution and refrain from making snap judgments based on incomplete information. Even though there may be hiccups along the way, the EV market is growing quickly and has a strong long-term growth trajectory. The market for electric vehicles offers an interesting case study in customer behavior and corporate strategy. On the one hand, Jim Farley at Ford is a proponent of audacious plans and taking chances to advance electric vehicles, even if they do so by aggressively lowering prices. On the other hand, Mary Barra of GM is accused of misjudging market demand and using obstinate pricing strategies in response to criticism of her electric vehicle strategy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay connected with our journey through the world of innovation. Feel free to share your thoughts in comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more exciting insights into the world of technology and innovation.